Introducing containerized developer environment, which provides quick way to set up, explore, and test web application authentication with external identity sources and protocols like Kerberos or SAML. Based on FreeIPA server as identity source, it uses Apache HTTP server in a role of authentication proxy to an example web application, which demonstrates propagation of authentication results, user attributes, and group membership. After the container images were built using Docker Compose build command, the whole developer setup gets started with Docker Compose up. All containers start in parallel, but the web authentication frontend and the client container with Firefox browser wait for the FreeIPA server to initialize. Only after the server is ready, the other containers IPA enroll themselves, finishing the configuration. The developer setup runs in its own example.test domain. To avoid the need of changing DNS or Kerberos configuration on developer's workstation, it is possible to start browser for the setup in one of the containers. We use SSH and authenticate with private SSH key that the container has made available in the client-data directory. The browser will open 4 tabs. The example application via the www HTTP proxy, which is configured for GSS API Kerberos authentication by default, FreeIPA server's web UI, Epsilon server's web UI, and a simple page which provides access to Kerberos utilities in the container where the browser runs. Let us obtain Kerberos ticket granting ticket, TGT, for the admin user. Admin's password is stored in the IPA-data directory, and we could either run kinit via docker exec or use the web interface to the Kerberos utilities. Let's log in to our example application. The login link is handled by the GSS API authentication module for a single sign-on, passwordless authentication. We can also see that the application got information about the user from the Apache HTTP server frontend, their email address or group membership, which can be used to assign application level roles. We will demonstrate that external authentication can work for users that the application has no previous record of. We will create new user Bob in the FreeIPA server and make this user member of new user group, test. In the application, we will create user group ext_test. The application is configured in such a way that membership of all X prefix groups is derived from remote user group information that the Apache HTTP server frontend passes to the application during successful logon. We will now obtain Kerberos TGT for Bob. New users created in FreeIPA server are required to change their password during the first login. We can use command line utility or its web interface to change Bob's password. Then we can get the ticket granting ticket. Clicking login in the application will now authenticate us as Bob, and we can see that user attributes and group membership were properly propagated from the identity source to the application. Another protocol used for external authentication and single sign-on is SAML. We will now replace the original logon link configuration of mod.gss API module with SAML authentication. The template configuration file for that is available in the repository. The Apache HTTP server configuration file is stored in the www-data directory that the container bind mounts and uses, so it is easy to modify without rebuilding the container image. After we've changed the configuration, we restart the HTTP service to load it. To prove that Kerberos authentication is no longer used, let's clear the credentials cache. We can then click the logon link of the application, which is now in the role of SAML service provider. The browser gets redirected to the SAML identity provider logon page. After logging in there, browser is redirected back, and in spite of different protocol used, the externally authenticated user information is again available. Instead of using the example application, the developer setup can of course be used for other applications that developers are working on.